Hey
Hello and
everybody.
welcome. All right, did you
You go
want to
ahead.
do it?
You go ahead.
Me?
Yes.
Okay. Hello and welcome to another edition of Hide and Go Seek. I am your, I'm your host for this week, Brandon Hyde. This is steering the ship. Joining me here today is not one, not two, not three, not five, but four brothers of the Hyde family are going to be on this episode. Joining me today, as always, is my brothers Ryan,
Hey.
Sean,
Hey, how's it going?
Steve,
Hey, how's everybody doing?
and Kevin.
Hey everybody.
Our mission today is to go over, as we've discussed in our past, as we have deemed it, the worst songs that we hate, the songs that we hear on the radio, we hear at work, and we just can't stand them. These are the ones that we have selected as being the worst of the worst, like a Suicide Squad of just shitty songs that are just gonna get the job done of being just terrible and awful. We're going to be going down our self-made list of shit songs that we have curated for today. Each one of us is going to go over a particular song, the reason why we hate it. I think our first encounter with it, if we can remember, and kind of any particular like personal history we have with the song itself. If anyone has any particular ones that you're like all hot up about, all steamed up, want to talk about, I think we can open the floor to the first contestant.
Yeah, who's singing first?
Who? The two Alt J songs. Shoot, who wants to sing those two?
Nobody
God.
does.
No.
I don't even know how they go. I can't remember.
I mean, yeah, they're so hard to sing. That dude has a weird like falsetto too. I feel like
Yeah,
at some points.
very interesting voice.
I mean, I
Do
can
it.
say at least like I think Every Other Freckle is the one that has that one has like some really over the top sexual innuendo in it. That's the one where he says like, "I'm gonna turn you inside out and lick you like a crisp packet." I think.
I hate that.
Holy
I'm
shit.
pretty sure. I think those two. I mean, those. I'll say like because I think they bother me a lot, but I heard them a lot on satellite radio. I think I had satellite radio for something like 5 or 6 years maybe, and Sirius XM, a station on their satellite radio, used to play them all the time. Those two All J songs, Every Other Freckle and Hunger of the Pine. I think I really don't like the lead singer's voice a lot. And I think I didn't understand anything about why they were so popular because the lyrics are gross and the music is gross too. So I just want to put that out there that I think they're like failures on a couple different levels. I remember people talking about Alt J being like a kind of like new lighter version of Radiohead, maybe, which to me seemed like borderline sacrilegious. But I don't know what you guys think
Oh my
about them.
God.
I think
Yeah,
the songs are pretty
absolutely.
rough and like pretty bad, and I don't understand why they got so popular.
Yeah, no idea the movement behind them in general. Like it seemed like they just exploded. I don't get it. Like his voice alone throws me off.
Hmm.
And then like it doesn't seem to be very exciting either. It's like it's okay. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing, the instrumentals are okay. Like his voice kind of throws it off. I just don't. Yeah.
Is
Not-
that the like I think the first time I heard this song is in the first episode of Broad City when I think they like clean up like Fred Armistead's apartment for him, and I think it's an Alt J song. And it's like it's so weird. It's like
Yeah.
That's how they all sound.
Yeah, the way he sings is like a really like a really sexual Muppet. I feel like like it's
That's
like
so good.
like a weird like generic Muppet with like a big boner. That's why I think is like trying to come across in the song.
So gross.
My God.
I don't want to imagine that, but that's pretty much what I imagine when I hear those
It's
songs.
probably it. That's what he looks like. Yeah.
I mean,
What's
I think
next?
a lot of.
Top of our
I was
list.
gonna
I can't-
say that was good, dead air.
We can
I was
edit
gonna
that
say
out.
I think a lot of the songs that are on the list, like when I was telling my wife Lindsay about them, I think a lot of these came from satellite radio and being overplayed, and the fact that I heard them
Right.
so many times like drove me crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, they're pretty bad. Like that. Yeah, like was it what is it? I haven't had Sirius for a while, but it's Alt Nation and
Yeah,
Sirius. What was it? Indie U or what's it called?
yeah,
I don't
Sirius
know.
XMU maybe.
Yeah,
XMU
that's
and
it.
All
Yeah,
Nation, I think,
yeah.
were
All
the
Nation.
two
Yeah.
kind of like alternative rock stations. I think.
Right.
They had some rough ones on there. I remember. What's the
Pretty
next
bad.
song?
I was gonna
What's
say
number
that
2?
that leads pretty good into well, I guess to like Gooey by Glass
Yeah.
Animals. I don't know if anybody wanted to touch on that one, but that was like I kind of get the same like shitty vibe from Glass Animals that I do from Alt.
How does that one go? Does anyone want to sing it or play a little snippet
I
on
can't.
their
It's
computer?
just like it's like kind of creepy where he's like, I can't even remember the actual like lyrics to it, but he
He
just kind of
says
like does
peanut
like a
butter
weird like
vibes at some
yeah,
point.
he does like a
Oh, yeah.
weird whisper kind of
That's
singing to
awful.
that song, and it's like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
so gross.
It also
That's-
sounds
yeah.
like it's like a good, there's probably like a couple that we could label as like creeper songs, like the lead singer sounds like a creeper,
Mm-hmm. This is
Right.
definitely one of them.
Yeah, I think that one is like a similar kind of like just like a weird, like overly. I think sometimes when songs are like overly, like weirdly, personally sexual, that kind of like bothers me too. Like someone talking about like, yeah, or like just have like weird metaphors, like the crisp packet with
Right.
Alt J and like peanut butter vibes to me seems like it's like like a 10-year-old describing like what they think of as like what happens when you get older and you like start dating someone. You're like, yeah, we'll get some peanut butter vibes or something like that. It just sounds like really weird and like naive and like kind of goofy.
Oh, Alexa, play Peanut Butter Vibes.
Here's Gooey by Glass Animals
Oh, there
on
we go.
Amazon Music.
Oh wow, do it.
That's weird.
It actually is.
It's good.
We do a little clip. Fit's coming through.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that sounds good. I'm vibing this.
Yeah, straight peanut butter vibes off of that.
Mm.
All right. Now I
It's
remember the
like-
song.
Yeah,
Alexa, stop.
it's bad. The dude's voice
all you
is
need.
like pretty
That's all you
wild too.
And it's like, and then it gets in, it like kicks in. It's like, bam, 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 bam.
Yeah, there's
good
like weird.
That's pretty terrible.
There's like weird percussion. Yeah, it's a weird groove, and just makes me like really uncomfortable. I feel like.
Mhm.
Right.
That's a
It's
really
the
good one.
wrong. It sets the wrong kind of mood. Like it
Yeah,
really
Yeah.
just
it's true. Yeah, it's like really bad mood.
weird vibes.
The next
what's
song
next on the
is
list?
by
Yeah.
George Ezra.
Oh
It's,
yeah.
Budapest.
Budapest. I don't remember that one that much.
I hate this song a
Oh
lot.
yeah, this is a good one to hate.
Sing it, brother. Sing it.
Yeah,
I can do
Alexa,
my impression.
somebody's gotta sing it.
I'll do my impression of it. I gotta like remember what he says. Like,
By George Ezra on
yeah, I want to
Amazon.
hear. I want to hear. Ryan, are you playing it?
Yeah, I'll starting up now.
Oh, it's like he sings like
It kicks right in.
Oh,
I
that's
hate
terrible.
his,
Yeah.
I hate his enunciation. I think that's it. Is like I hate the way that his like his line is like terrible to me. You know, because he's
Yeah.
about how to do like it's just like really weird enunciation.
That's so bad.
Dee-ba-doo, a dee-ba-doo.
Yeah,
That's
it's
that
like
one.
it,
Okay. God, I forgot about
it
that.
sounds like
Yeah.
gibberish. You know the way he sings it, the words like end up sounding like gibberish, kind of.
Right.
I love the video more because it's just like his fuck face like in the camera the whole time. He's just like schmoozing for it. He's like, oh, ba-dee-ba-doo, oh, dee-ba-dee-ba-doo. This is like if this was an album, this would be like the single of the Terrible Shitsongs album where it's like, oh yeah, it's kicking in.
Oh, that's the one. Yeah.
Right.
This is
I
the
know.
radio hit right here.
This is the one that's popping off. Yeah. I like that.
This is the Mr. Brightside of
I thought of a song like off the top of my dome just now. I realized I never actually put it on there, but I think Ryan would know it. But I don't know if it's a song title, but the chorus is like, "Why do you have to be so rude?" It's like, "Why do you have to-"
Oh wow, yeah, that song's terrible.
I hate that fucking song so goddamn much, and it's like
Oh, yeah.
What is it?
Who is that?
it's the one where it's like, "Why'd you have to be so rude?"
Yeah.
Why you gotta be so rude? Yeah,
It's like the video is even more insane because it's like, it's
that's
this
such a good
guy.
one, dude.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This one just marinate for a bit. Yeah.
we won't go past the 20-second limit.
Oh wow.
Also, I don't want to listen for more than 20 seconds.
yeah.
Yeah, that one has like a gross crappy Sublime kind of a feel
Shitty,
to it.
yeah, shitty reggae, kind of
Yeah.
fucked up. Yeah, like
realize,
awful
like,
attempt at it.
That's so accurate. Yeah, I didn't realize like why I hate it so much, but yeah, it has that. And then like the music video is even worse because it's like the guy's talking to this girl's dad, and he's like, why'd she have to be so rude? And it's like, you dork ass motherfucker, get off my lawn, like just get away from my daughter.
Yeah.
Like this is like scrawny like little shit who's just like kind of like
Hey,
complaining about.
Why are you gonna be so
Wait,
rude? Yeah,
Yeah,
it's-
It's like it's
dumb.
a song. It's like a song that's written by a boomer about a millennial trying to ask
Yeah.
his daughter out.
What is the name of that
Like,
band?
this
It's like
Sublime
Garbage
are.
People or something like that. What is it called? What are they named?
I'd have to look it up. Yeah,
oh, that'd be such a good name for the band. Yeah.
It's something weird like that.
yeah.
Ryan, what are they called? What's the group called?
Oh, fuck! I just heard it. I can ask him. Like, Alexa, play.
It's like
Alexa, play.
Magic.
Be so rude. Come on, Alexa, play. Be so rude.
Alexa,
Garbage
play
Can
the
Squad.
band.
Alexa.
Garbage Can Squad, is that it?
That's-
Also called the band were Robbie Robertson, Levon Helm,
Oh,
Richard
Okay.
they're
yeah.
telling me the members
The
of the
band?
band. The last one.
That'd be
amazing.
awesome if the band wrote that song.
Like, I hate Alexa sometimes. Alexa, stop. Jesus, I don't even know. I can't remember. Oh,
It's amazing.
Magic? Is that?
I think it is. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
I can't
Yeah,
look on my phone right now, but yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
I think it was it. It's just like I've never heard anything from them since two, which I'm pretty lucky on that front. So I feel like I was like it was just that one like concentrated dose of like shittiness that I just like entered into my like into my like reality and then just like left as mysteriously as it arrived. Like that's like the only one I think I can like actually say I can definitively say I would like never want to hear that again for like any song. It's like I think that's the only one I'm like I don't hate a lot of songs. I was actually having trouble with this one because I was like I don't hate too many songs, but it was like that's the only one I'm like definitively like I never want to.
What is it?
Magical Exclamation Point. That's even worse. I
By
hate that.
Magic. Yeah.
Wow, magic.
I've if we before we move on to the next song, I have like a sub thread we could explore before.
Oh yeah.
actual song. It won't take too long. We can just do a quick tangent. Are there any songs you used to hate but don't really mind now, like that came out in like the '90s or the 2000s, and then you grew on them? They're like, no, they're fine. It's like they're not that bad or whatever.
Oh yeah, you know what? I have one. I just heard it today.
Yeah.
I really never liked that song. Come on, Eileen, or whatever.
Yeah.
Come on, Eileen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I feel like I've seen it in a few movies or something like that, and it maybe like kind of it grew on me a lot.
Yeah.
I don't mind it now.
It's a fun song.
It used to annoy me a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
It's definitely one of those songs where I heard the chorus for so many times, and it was like, oh, it's okay. But then I heard like the full like actual song, and it's like there's a lot more to it. And I like that part of it. It has a good like there's like a dip in it, and then it comes back up in like a really fun way.
Yeah,
it's like a good wedding song. Like it would be fun to hear that at like a wedding.
It'd be fun, yeah.
That's a good question. I gotta think about that. I think like
Mm-hmm.
do you have any ones like off the dome? Yeah.
I'd one that I was thinking. I actually don't mind when it first came out. The what's the fuck? My Chemical Romance, the Black Parade.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't mind that song now.
Oh, yeah.
That's actually pretty
fine.
good. Yeah, it's like
It's
good.
good.
It's
The
not
beginning's
that bad.
cool. Like the build up is really good.
Yeah.
And,
The production itself is like pretty wonderful. Sounds
Yeah.
really good, you know. And then like it's definitely one of those ones where I think the less serious you take it, the better it is.
exactly.
like,
yeah. It's like it's very grandiose, and it has like a fun quality to that. It's like you would want to hear that in a big venue. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Seems like they'd be good. Yeah.
I had one. I was just thinking of. I thought about this the other day because it came on the radio. I remember hearing it all the time when I was little. Was that Blind Melon song "No Rain"?
Oh yeah.
But I was like, it still like kind of annoys me, but it like a little bit less than it used to. And I don't know why. I think it's like I'm a little more accepting of songs now as I get older. But like, it's definitely one of those ones that I could not stand. And now when I hear it on the radio, I'll like leave it on for a little bit.
Mhm.
Right.
Is that all I can do is
Yeah, exactly. It's got that like kind of weird guitar to it.
Yeah.
Still don't know. Yeah.
All
I find on the radio like all the time.
my life is pretty strange.
Yeah.
That one, yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. Okay. That's so. I haven't thought about that in so long.
Tried
I
to
feel like
capture his
that like,
voice there. I don't know if it works.
that like unlocks something in my brain. Yeah. I feel like by remembering that, it's gonna make me like not remember. It's like replace something else in my memory. Like I'm not gonna be able to remember like
You'll remember
something like that. And it's like, oh man, like it's gonna. I'm gonna like look back and I'm gonna think back to like any friends I had in like grade school. Be like, I don't remember their faces. They're all just blank. I can remember this song.
It's so true.
Yeah. I think like.
Yeah.
It's not specific, but I will say like it's gonna sound really goofy, but like and like this might not be like I'll probably be alone on this, but I kind of like
it.
Some Fall Out Boy songs because it's like they're really,
Yeah,
they have good songs.
same. Yeah,
it's like I like that era of like pop punk, like, emo kind of like it's very like. It's fun listening to it now because like all the stuff they talk about, like all the lyrics are like so like life or death with that stuff, and it's like it's so much fun to hear that when it's like it's very much aimed at like when you're a teenager and like everything feels like it's like falling apart. It's like
exactly.
You get, like, a few years later, it's not too bad.
Their first two albums are actually like really fun to listen to.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
They're a guilty pleasure, I'd say. Yeah.
There was one. There's one. I think Stevie, I used to play, with you and Nick all the time, or just like listen to. Was that Avenged Sevenfold song? Like
yeah.
And, like that one was
Country,
definitely one of those ones where I listen to it now, and it's like it's still like for the novelty of it, it's still pretty wonderful. Like pretty shitty and great though.
Yeah. It's like a bad action movie. It's just fun to listen to.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly it.
That is there's a lot of songs like that. I feel like there's one that it's gonna sound ridiculous, and it's like I don't know if like I think you guys might not like it, but like I've been on a it's gonna sound ridiculous, but and it's like I've grown to like it. Is that in the same vein, I like Enter Sandman by Metallica because it has
Oh,
that
yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
good.
like
That's a good one,
stupid
yeah.
That's a
like
good song.
early 2000s. There's something about like early 2000s
I think it's
like hard rock that has like a fun like I don't know, something goofy about it. It's like yeah, I want to be like working on a car while I'm listening to this or something. It's like have like a
That's from like 90, isn't it? That's like old.
That's
That
like
might be
yeah,
Yeah,
pretty
it's
old.
pretty old.
yeah, that's like mid 90s. Yeah,
when
Yeah.
the baby was born. I think it was 92.
Yeah, really. Yeah,
I
probably.
heard it. That one,
That's
yeah,
crazy.
it's like I
Yeah,
was like,
Mom
what
was
is
like hitting that Metallica pretty hard when you were in the
Yeah.
womb.
So you love it.
album? Yeah.
Loved him. Yeah.
Lightning,
Okay.
kill 'em
Kev,
all.
you have any off the top that you think? Or
I mean, I think there's some. I was trying to think if there's not a lot of like individual things. But I think the stuff I was thinking of most was like some classic rock that I found annoying when I was a kid. Like you guys, like you would hear stuff on like MMR or whatever. But then I think
Yeah.
a lot of it is like just getting older and becoming an adult, and then like appreciating a little bit more some of the lyrics and the perspective that's in it. You're like, because when you're little, you're like, this is fucking weird as shit, and like I don't understand like what they're singing about. And then when you get older, you're like, oh my god, it's like similar to my lived experience or whatever, you know, and stuff like
That's
that. So
true.
it's like,
Right.
and
Yeah.
a lot of those things are. The other bummer too is like when we were younger, it was like there was just like radio. There was mostly just radio was how you're exposed to
Yeah.
music and MTV a little bit.
Yeah.
But it was like so you hear it all the time. You hear classic rock like all the fucking time, right? And
Right.
it's just like part of like your oral wallpaper or whatever. So you don't really pay a lot of good attention to it. And I
Mhm.
think like so like I never, you know, like I think I only got into the Beatles like way later in life and stuff like that. And part of that was like thanks to the game that we had, you know, the
Yeah.
like Beatles like Guitar Hero or whatever. And then
That's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
I think like Bowie too later in life like didn't
Yeah,
I like
right.
I like those songs but I didn't really like pay attention to them and like actually love them until way later on in my life and stuff. So I think a lot of that was just that stuff. It's just like it was kind of there, or like Neil Young or whatever, you know, it's like it's just kind of
Right,
there,
yeah.
but then
Mm-hmm.
not until later you're like, oh shit, this is actually like really
It's
fucking
fucking
good
awesome.
and like
Yeah.
incredible, you know, like so yeah.
Mhm.
That's such a good feeling. Yeah, it's gonna destroy. Oh, yeah. I was gonna say.
It's awesome. Yeah, not them. I would say not. I'll never appreciate them.
I was gonna make a similar joke where I'm like, Kev, the voice of summer, like it speaks to you now. You're like, I want to know it's summer.
Yeah.
It's funny you mentioned because I actually like one of the bands that I've like grown to really like and like I didn't actually like know much about it was Bad Company. It's like one of those things where I just like recently just started getting really into them and I'm like shit I like that's one of those things where it's like I don't think they have like
That's
one
awesome.
really popular song, so it's tough to really
Yeah.
nail down. So it's just like a one kind of like all their stuff is just really good.
Mhm.
That's so
it's
good,
kinda
Bad Company. That's
down,
so like
That's
random,
good.
Brandon. I
Good
love
pick.
Yeah, I don't
it.
know why
that's
it's like
tight.
Good take.
Very
It's-
good pick.
I think it's what I've seen their I think it's because I liked them because like I remember Wilco did a reference kind of to their album because it was Bad Company has an album called Bad Company with a song Bad Company on there.
Oh, cool.
That's like what Wilco did.
That's awesome.
Self-titled, and it was just it's like funny. It's like one of the things I didn't realize like how much I really liked them, and like what they're doing. So yeah, that's it's fun. It's fun like discovering stuff kind of from like an older era that I don't really know about. So it's fun to kind of see like there's just all their stuff is just available now.
Yeah,
Instead
for sure. It is fun.
That's good. That's a good point. Yeah. What?
Where'd they
What?
go?
Get back to the list. What's the next song we have to tackle?
I mean, we don't even have to like go through all of them, but unless people have like really want to tackle it, but like Fits in the Tantrums, The Walker. I think this one was just like really popular, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was played all.
Yeah, it was just super popular.
Yeah,
Yeah.
super popular, right?
They just played the shit out of it.
Yeah.
everywhere.
And it's got that whistle in it that's
Oh
like
yeah, that's right.
that'll hit you right away. It's so piercing.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
so
that's
intense.
terrible. Yeah,
Piercing.
I feel like, yeah, Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
It's such a bad.
There was like a 5-year period where like songs were like whistling's back in style, like the
Yeah.
or something. It was just like a weird thing
Yeah, is that from
where
that?
it was like
Is that from
all of
that
a sudden-
Peter Bjorn and
Yeah, I was
and
gonna say that
John
one.
song
Yeah,
from
And
Young
Right.
Folks or
That's one
whatever?
of the first ones.
Yeah.
I remember.
That started.
that's a
yeah.
good song
I
though.
wonder
Really
if it did.
great.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
and
love
then
that song.
whistling.
that's like a Home, right? By
Oh, that's
What's
What's
that?
he done?
fucking-
Edward Sharpe and the
Yeah,
Magnetic
yeah,
Zeros.
that one. That's one of the
Yeah.
ones too that drives me crazy because of this one.
Yeah, I know. I'm surprised I didn't put that on the
Yeah.
list. I hate that fucking song too.
Mhm.
I hate the like spoken word bullshit in the middle or whatever too.
Like that.
Oh,
One,
it's
yeah.
so
Yeah.
I
bad.
remember talking about that and being like, "Oh, that song's not that bad." And I listened to it,
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh God, that middle part."
It's like, oh Jesus Christ!
It
Yeah.
really is like it's also kind of a bummer because I think those two are divorced now, so it's like kind of a bummer to hear them talk about like how good it is to be like never mind.
Oh, yeah.
It's
What pressing into
Someone sucks. I hate that song. I forgot how much I hate it actually.
You know what's
that's
crazy?
like that's another like subgenre almost with like what was the one that's like oh god I'm like having such a hard time summoning it. The one where they're like kind of like hey do hey like that one.
Oh, the Lumineers.
the Lumineers.
Lumineers?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
there's like
Hey,
that whole
Ho.
subgenre of like there's also somewhat
Why-
related to the Nate Rateliff or whatever is like
Yeah.
kind of like old timey, little like kind of rustic bullshit sort of like
Yeah.
that's what like these troubadours
Whiskey
that are
jam.
like
Yeah.
whiskey
Yeah.
jams are like wandering the country after like the Civil War or whatever something
Yeah.
like that. That's like what it makes me think of like that kind of bullshit like and
Yeah,
I
it's
love
weird
that
how stuff like that like pops up every once in a while. Like I feel like it has its like moment. Like people like something that sounds like anachronistic or something like that.
yeah.
Kind of, and it has its moment. Like I feel like Mumford and Sons kind of fits into that a little bit too.
hell
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
They
I
do.
surprised.
Yeah.
I can't
For
believe
some
we didn't
reason.
put them on the list too. Mugwump
I
and
think,
Sons.
That's been like I think like especially after Oh Brother Where Art Thou, where it was just like an explosion of like people are like, wait, old music can be good, and there's
Yeah,
just like this like
yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. Yeah, old time.
Track was super
Just-
good.
yeah, which I mean like yeah, the movie and soundtrack to that is like fucking like absolutely killer, and then like
Yeah.
everything else is just like a bad imitation of it.
That's legit
Um,
good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so tough. That's like that's the thing. It's like I can't be mad at Oh Brother Where Art Thou because it's such a like awesome fucking movie, and like super good soundtrack that like but like everything came after it. It's
Phenomenal.
like I feel like like I don't want to lump them in there, but like they are like not going for the same thing, but like the National has that like I feel like runs adjacent to them, but they're way better than everyone else. Where they are like
Yeah.
do that in a way like they're very authentic with it. Where it's like they do feel like what their music feel is actually like not quite country, but it has this like rural kind of like feel to it, where like it does feel like they actually came from like I think that like Ohio, like kind of like a more like a less suburban like setting than everything else. Like all the other bands have this kind of like they've like kind of heard that style of music and it's like, oh, this sounds cool, and that's kind of like what they're kind of trying to adopt, but it's like
What's he
it doesn't
done?
fully work.
Mhm.
That like
That's fine.
do you guys
Yeah.
remember that? I think I sent this to you. The like Father John Misty Prius commercial demo one that he did. That shit is
That
so
was really
fucking good. So good.
Like that cracks me up. I love how it's like they should like he's so talented. Like he could do this shit like in his sleep. I love how it's like no,
Yeah.
he's way better than that. It's like that's such a cool like that was such a cool like way of him like such a good joke. And like those lyrics were amazing. Yeah.
Super good.
All right, I got one. I
Yeah.
want to talk
Yeah,
about
do it, brother.
that stupid
Or-
goddamn. I think it's called 7 Years at Lucas Graham or something like
Yeah.
that. And I used to hear it like all the time at work. and it's
Oh,
like the
God.
one that like the refrain is like once I was so and so years old. Blah 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 blah. That one, yeah. So I was just looking it up,
Yeah.
and apparently it's like Lucas Graham. It's a Danish group actually, and the lead singer's
Oh,
name
wow.
is like Lucas Graham Chammer or something like that. It's really crazy.
Wow.
But yeah, it just sucks.
That song's horrible. I
So
listened to
gross.
it again after you mentioned it last night, and I was like, holy fuck, this is like, the music is so weird too. Like, the music
Yeah.
that goes along with it is bizarre.
The like lilting little like piano line that goes with
Yeah.
the whole thing. Yeah.
It's just fucked up, yeah.
Wait, the one line that I hate, or that I was just looking through the lyrics that I hate is like, what does he say? Like, soon I'll be 60 years old. Will I think the world is cold, or will I have a lot of children who can warm me?
Oh my god.
That's
Ew, I hate
weird.
that.
Just pile them on me.
Yeah, that's fucking bizarre and creepy. That's gross. Does anybody want to talk about that Chainsmoker song? I can't remember who suggested
That was
that
like,
one.
so that one, like, I
Did you
didn't suggest
suggest it,
that
Sean?
one.
No?
No, I didn't. But that one, like, popped out to me because I remember thinking that it couldn't be real the first time I heard it. And then, like, and
Yeah.
then it was. And then it caught on and, like, because everybody started, like, hashtagging it. And it was, like, I couldn't believe that it was a real thing for, like, a solid, I don't know, month
What
or
song is it?
something like that. A fucking selfie song.
Selfie.
Yeah, and it starts with like two Valley girls like talking about like blah, blah, and then
That's so
it gets to,
weird.
like, the beat of it.
Disgusting. Yeah, it's so
And I
gross.
take a selfie. It's like.
But first let me take a
Like-
selfie. That's right, because everybody was putting that on social media after it came out, and it was
Yeah, it's-
like so
It's like-
so disgusting.
It's so shitty. Yeah.
It reminds me of the scene in Mortal Kombat when Sonya Blade's going through the nightclub. And
Yeah.
there's like this like shitty nightclub music that's playing. So it's like.
It seems like a ploy in some way of like some kind of industry trying to farm like selfies of young people. Is like this is how
Yeah.
they did it. Is like they
Yeah.
came out with
Oh,
this
yeah,
fucking
you're right.
garbage
Yeah.
produced song, and like this is what it is.
It's such
All
a
the
weird.
kids are doing it.
Yeah, it's like it's such a weird attitude too, where it's like you're criticizing. It's like it's this idea of like, it's just like a really shitty attitude towards people who are just like trying to take a picture of themselves, and it's all about like it's just like this idea of like we're gonna criticize, like we're gonna criticize like this lifestyle, but also like benefit from it by using the hashtag, because it's just like, oh, it's like we're hating against selfies, but by using the hashtag we're going to take it back. It's like, no, you're just using that concept of a hashtag to like popularize yourself, so when people do hashtag it with selfie, it's just like feeding into your own machine.
Make
It's
it
just like
work.
this, yeah, it's like it's so gross. It's just like kind of like this like really shit. It comes off as like the most like boomer ass attitude of like these young people are just taking selfies these
Right,
days. They're not
exactly.
doing anything else. And it's like, go fuck yourself. It's like it feels. It's just such a like. Oh, it feels like so surface level too of a criticism. It's just like people are taking pictures of themselves, and it's like, that's it. That's the end of the criticism. Like there isn't like anything besides that. It's just like, oh, okay.
I
Yeah,
do
there's
wanna-
not much else to that.
I do hate Chainsmokers as a band, and I hate Chris Martin's worst song is his collaboration with them, where the what's it called, Superhero, where he's like,
Here, yeah.
Spider-Man has his webs and
Hey.
Yeah.
Chris Martin.
Oh yeah, that one's
like,
so
and-
bad.
Batman's
He doesn't
fists.
do a
Yeah.
good job of like saying what each superheroes like things. He's like, Spider-Man's
Yeah.
got his courage, and Batman's
that's one of
got
my-
his pride.
God, I hate that one so much. I'm so glad you brought that up, right? Because
It's
the lyrics, the way that's like a pet peeve of mine. Because the way he starts that song
Yeah.
is he's like, "I've been reading books of old,"
Yes.
Yeah.
and then he says something about Achilles, and then Spider-Man immediately afterwards. And it was like,
Yeah.
how do you what the fuck? Like, it's so
That's so
gross. Yeah,
weird.
Achilles in his heel, and then like Spider-Man's what is it? Is agility?
Oh, I never actually listened to the lyrics.
Lyrics. Yeah.
So
I never listened to it.
Bad.
agility,
I'm just gonna read the first
Tap in his fists.
He
That's
must
right.
have just like
Yeah.
like sat down like it was like one afternoon. It was like just knock this out. You guys have like 25 minutes. Just knock this
Let
out.
it scream. Let it
Nick
scream,
said-
brother. Straight from the mind. That's what. Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Yeah, I've been reading books of old, the legends and the myths, Achilles and his gold, Hercules and his gifts, Spider-Man's control,
Oh yeah.
and with his fists. And clearly, I don't see myself upon that list. I don't. Spider-Man like is his control. No, that's not. That's like the farthest from there. There's a whole theme song about like what his abilities are. You could pick anything from there. Like he climbs up walls, he swings, he's super strong. He has all the things like fit in there. People, like the first thing you don't think of when you think of Spider-Man is like, oh, his control. Yeah, totally.
If you look at,
Obviously.
I think the chorus of the song is just, I want something just like this. Do 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 do.
That's awesome.
Repeated like 3 times. That's it.
So
I can't
good.
Martin was like even like up for doing it. He like there's got to be some point where he read that and he was just like, "What in the fuck is this shit?" He's like, "When am I getting punked? I'm getting
Yeah.
punked, right?" Yeah.
I'm looking at the lyrics, and there's no actual like connection between what like any of the like the blocks of lines, because it's like, so he ends on that first part where he's saying he's not a superhero, and it's like, but she said, "Where do you want to go? How much you want to risk? I'm not looking for somebody with some superhero gifts, some superhero, some fairy tale bliss, just something I can turn to, somebody I can kiss." I don't know what he's like, what she said to
no
prompt.
connection
Nobody's
in the lyrics.
yeah, nobody ever talks like
Yeah.
that. Anyway.
Like if someone asked me about something and then my response was like, I've been reading books of old, the legends and the myths. I think I would like no one would talk to me ever again. Be like,
Yeah.
no, man, I'm good. I
That
don't think.
dude sucks. They're like, that dude sucks.
I just want to know what like his the deleted like the lyrics were like. Wolverine's got his claws, Glasses got his steel skin, and then
He must have been just like walking by the recording studio that day, and they're like, "Yo, we'll give you like
Jump on this track.
yeah, so and so to bang out this track for us." Because
Like
I'm
when they
looking
talk
at the
about in the old days with like jazz recordings, it's like, oh yeah, somebody
Yeah.
else was in town, so we asked him to sit in. It's like, we saw Chris walk in the halls, and we're like, sit in on this, bud. He's like, yeah, whatever.
yeah, sing this bullshit that we just cranked out. Yeah.
I like the lyrics too, because I imagine it was like he meant to write them the night before, and then like he forgot, and he's like sitting in the studio, like, yeah, Spider-Man, and no, just like he's like trying to think of something as like the Spider-Man. He sees someone like a Spider-Man shirt, it's like and then like the video game Control, like his Spider-Man's Control, and then Batman and his fit. He just has to like make it up on his. That's the only way I can like see it happening. It's just like I don't know, like
There's no
it's so
song.
I love it. Yeah, it's like trying to figure out who are they trying to market this to, like half retarded 15-year-olds or something, you know? It's like, how could you even like there's like it's so silly and goofy that it's like it's amazing how popular it's become, honestly.
it's pretty bad. Yeah.
So bad.
So that was
Oh yeah.
yeah, that was a lot. It was on Chainsmokers Selfie. The next one on our list, if my phone will cooperate, is Hey Mommy, Sylvan Esso.
Yeah, that song was just like really popular on satellite radio. I don't know if I actually have a lot to hate about it, but it was just like they played the shit out of it. And I think that was like what made it annoying. It was just kind of like it also has like some like field recording ish quality to it that I don't love, but that was it. It's not as bad as the next one on the list, which is one of the worst, I think, probably.
What is it, brother? Sing it.
I can't sing it, but well, let me think. He's like, the part that goes into the chorus is like this. It's like I do it to Lindsay sometimes. Son of a bitch.
There it is.
It's so bad. I hate that like that like
Yeah.
I hate the ramp up, that dip, and then it's like son of a bitch, and everyone's like it gets back into it. It's
gross.
like a bad
It's really
cartoon,
bad.
like music scene. I don't know. It's like so hard to describe it. There's just like a primal like response I have where I'm just like I don't want this. I don't want it. I
I
don't
don't
want
like
to listen
this.
to it at all.
This dude, I feel like I didn't realize before like how much of a link there is with that and the Rag and Bone Man song, the Human song or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, that
I
one's
feel like they're really close
Equally as
together,
bad. Yeah.
and they're like
really gross.
kind of like two heavy set dudes, right? Like heavy-ish
Yeah.
like dudes like
Yeah.
singing like this. It's kind of like
Oh, you can hear how fat they are in the voice.
yeah,
So,
just like yeah, and I don't know what it is about like I was telling you guys, yeah, it just sounds like they're trying to sound like somebody like people who are on like a chain gang or like
Yeah.
like a jailhouse like band or something like that, you know, or like they wanna
Yeah.
they wanna be in like they wanna be in like an old like sweaty like
Yeah.
Mississippi blues house or something like that,
Mhm.
right? Like
Yeah.
that's like their aspiration, but it's like they're probably like these trust fund dudes like recording
Yeah.
in like a fucking Brooklyn studio or some shit
Yeah.
like that, you know?
I remember so like
Look at the cover of the album.
The cover is so bad.
That's
That
insane.
So
shit
gross.
sucks.
So, I remember
Yeah.
listening to like particularly with this song, the SOB. I remember the first time I heard it, I was listening to it. I was actually in PA, and I remember it came on the radio and was driving and coming back. And I remember it because I was listening to it and I was super confused by like how upbeat and almost like dancey it was as compared to like
Yeah.
theme of the song too as being like a chronic alcoholic or you know it's like it was super strange to me that was like made as an upbeat like kind of like I think in the video they're dancing around too, like I don't know, it struck me as super weird and I like couldn't get out of my head after I heard it for the first time. I was like, this is like not only annoying but like super strange in itself. I don't know, it didn't vibe right with me.
Yeah. They're both like, wait, how's the one? I know how son of a bitch goes. What's the other one? Oh my god! Like
Humans, I'm only human
Oh, yeah.
after all.
Yeah.
That one,
Yeah.
That's
I
so
just
bad.
I just watched the video on it earlier too, and it's like it's disgusting. Yeah, it's just this dude trying to sound like this white fat guy trying to sound like a black guy, and it's like so bad. I
So
don't know.
gross. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
both of
other
the
thing
songs
I
were
was
only
gonna
like
say-
popular like for a minute though, and then they
Yeah.
like completely
You know-
faded away.
You know what's crazy?
Yeah.
I just looked up, so I was looking at it on YouTube, and the Human song by Rag and Bone Man has over 1 billion views.
Wait,
Fuck,
Dude.
that's insane.
God,
Isn't that
1
insane?
billion
Yeah,
Oh
views.
my god!
over 1 billion.
Holy
that's
shit.
ridiculous.
It must be some part of some really popular playlist or something
Yeah,
like that.
something.
Yeah.
It must be
It
like
just rolls
algorithm
over.
driven,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
what like I was looking at. So I noticed that, and there's one I wanted to talk about that was it's Charlie Puth. It's a song "Attention." I don't know if you guys know that one, but
Oh.
it
No.
struck
I
me
don't
as
think
like
so.
it's the most annoying shit ever. It's like it also I looked it up on YouTube and has over 1 billion views, and it's like super poppy, and he sings in like a falsetto voice the whole time, and he's like yeah, how does it go? I'm trying to think of how it goes.
Sing it, brother.
He's like, you just want attention, from my heart, something other getting over you, like that. And it's like,
Oh, no.
No,
I gotta
no.
hold on, I gotta play it for you guys because it's disgusting.
That's,
Oh, here we go. If you guys can hear it,
Yeah.
oh, I hate that.
yeah, this song.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, I know that one.
So like, so I remember there's I picked two different songs that I wanted to talk about on this because like the first time I heard it, I like literally wrote down in my phone what I hated about it. And this is like way before we even had the idea to do this, like the
That's
podcast
awesome.
for this. So like, so that song, I remember I was working downtown at the time and I heard it and I stopped. I put something in my phone, and it was like it's forever like annoyed the shit out of me. But so like he's like what is it? He's like his voice. Yeah, so his voice is like super falsetto the whole time. It's like pretty cringy overall. But then he's at one point it kind of like it was really faint, and so I remember I wrote down in my phone like this exact sentence, which was his voice. His voice is like a faint queef in the nighttime. It's like
That's
one of the
amazing.
things that I had written
great.
down about it, and it was like, yeah, it's so gross. It's that, and like the bass line for it is like disgusting. It just sounds like somebody's like slapping their dick on the bass strings. Like it's so gross and like in your face and fucking intense. It's like
I gotta listen to this now.
it's such a gross song.
No, I think they play that song at work, Sean. I know it. I know it well, and hate it.
There's like there's like no real substance to it, and it's just like awful. You hear it once, you've heard it. You know, that's all you need.
Yeah.
Just go through, and you're like, oh, okay.
What was the title of that? I gotta listen to this. I gotta look this up now.
It's Attention by
Okay,
Charlie.
that was it. Okay, that's amazing. God, I'm kind of like, I kind of miss working in like a public place with like a public radio, because I feel like I don't get like as much. I don't hear as much like just bullshit. In terms of music, so it's like all the stuff I listen to is just like stuff I want to, but so I kind of miss having that like occasional, just like hearing something that like so bad, just like assault your senses, and like not know like what is this, and just kind of like have to figure out like what's attacking you. Like
Seriously.
That's amazing. So next on our list is Childhood's End by Magical Clouds. Spelled with a J and a Z.
I don't know that one.
I don't know this one.
Wait, Clouds?
I don't know this one either. Yeah,
I think
Magical Clouds.
these
Clouds.
these are from also satellite radio.
Okay.
And they were just annoying. I think these two are like these and the Avalanches. Probably don't have to talk about a lot because I don't actually like the Magical Clouds ones are like genuinely annoying, but they're just like super dramatic. I feel like the Avalanches ones, I legit love the Avalanches in that album.
Yeah.
Wildflower
Yeah.
is super good. But
It's
those two are like the worst songs on that album, and they're like they're so bad that they just like stand out so much. You know, like I remember reading somebody on the message board said these two are like the turds in the punch bowl or whatever. Like they're so gross, you know. But
That's really good.
Yeah,
I played that Frank Sinatra song last night to my wife, just over the speaker. I didn't tell her what it was. She's like, "What the fuck is this?"
That's one of the songs where it's like I like the Avalanches, but that's the one that like makes me like kind of nauseous. I'm like, I don't know what's like it feels like like music equivalent of like eating something kind of expired. It's just like, oh no, like what happened? Like what did I do?
Frank
It's like,
Sinatra.
yeah, it's bad.
Jesus Christ. I was. Well, we'll get to the song later in the list, but my wife currently loves the "Where the Cowboys Go" song. So she'll play that one to annoy me, and I was trying to figure out a song to annoy her, but I couldn't think of anything. But I was trying to remember the time where Kevin, you were playing the Liar song for Mom, and like it was like a seizure in her head or something like that.
Yeah, Mom said yes. I was playing the song. Oh my god, I gotta remember. It was
Blood Red
Burn the
Blood.
Witch or something like that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it was from
Something like
the second album.
yeah.
It's not There's Always Room on the Broom. It's like the first
I think
one on there.
so I know the line that
Yeah. I know
that
too.
gets into the repeating chorus is like,
Yeah.
"This is the army you see through the red haze of
Oh, it's
blood."
Broken
Blood.
Witch. Yeah, Broken Witch. The first track on They Were Wrong, So We Drowned.
Oh yeah, I got
Which is
it.
like
Yeah.
I love that song.
Jesus.
And
Yeah, fine.
and I played it, and Mom said she felt like she was gonna have like a seizure from listening to it.
You
Yeah, she felt like she was having a seizure. She said.
I feel it's like God, yeah, it's like someone like stabbed you in the brain. It just like kind of like keeps repeating over and over. It's really it's
So
so
good.
like, it's good. But it's like so aggressive in this way that's like not common. I feel like it's different than like metal aggressive, where it's like at least metal, you know what you're getting into. Like Liars is so much more like this like chaotic, just kind of like assault on you, and just like, oh God, like what is happening?
It's kind of like,
It's
what is that? There's a noisecore band kind of from I think they're from Rhode Island. It's like just a bass and drums. Do you remember what they're?
Oh, Lightning Bolt.
Lightning
Yeah.
Bolt. Lightning Bolt. Yeah, that's kind of
Lightning
like
Bolt.
that.
Yeah.
Lightning Bolt's it's like so ridiculous. I love yeah the one they play it in Observe and Report when like he steals the car, but it's the I gotta look it up. It's like, oh, damn it, it's like that really quick one. It's like a minute and a half long, but it's like it's the lightsaber.
Oh, that's somebody
Oh, that's
else.
McCluskey.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
love
McCluskey.
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
That one
there we
also
go.
has that like insane like qualities. Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
got a note from my producer that Kevin has to pop off for another interview. But Kev, do you have any like final thoughts or anything you want to jump in before you have to go?
Yeah, the only one I really wanted to talk about on the list still was "Honey, I'm Good" by Andy Grammer.
Oh yeah.
Which is like, I mean, I think one of the things I was gonna say was like I forgot to suggest this in the beginning was like talking about what for us like makes for like a terrible song like this, and I think like one of the things for me is that it's like partially kind of like a really bad song has to be like partially catchy because it has to like stick in my head to some extent,
Right.
but in a bad, like a really, a way that causes me pain. And I think like that Andy Grammer song is like catchy enough because I think the first time I heard it, first couple times I heard it, I was like, oh, that's like kind of interesting. But then the more
Right.
that I listened to it and like understood the lyrics, I was like, oh, that's like fucking horrifying. And then like the the thing that like took it over the top for me was like the Lindsay and I went to this spin class at the local Y in Tacoma, and
Right.
we had like a really long bad history with spin instructors like around here because like the first one we went to, this older guy would play like the worst music for exercising to. It was like these weird CDs that skipped or shut down a lot of times of like that were mostly composed of like I think songs to avoid copyright infringement. So they were like live recordings of like Van Halen B-sides or something like
Oh
that.
my God.
Like deep cuts
Terrible.
of like the randomest shit, and like almost beatless too a lot of times and stuff. And so
That's
then,
perfect.
but we got a different one. We got a different instructor when we went to this different Y, and she was really into playing like more poppy stuff like this, like Andy Grammer
Right.
and Maroon 5 and stuff.
Mhm.
And so but her playlists were often like weirdly kind of like sexually suggestive. So like this one, and then she would also play that Shaggy song that was like
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
It Wasn't Me. Do you
Oh,
remember
God.
that song?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so gross.
she would.
Oh
So
my
it's
God.
like a lot of like weird like cheating songs, she would play.
Ew.
But
Yeah.
like the Andy Grammer song, like my wife and I always talk about it. It's like it's so fucked up because he's like saying to this woman at the bar, he's like, like if I had just like one more beer, like half beer,
Right.
I would like 100% fuck you, and it doesn't matter that I have like my wife or partner at home or whatever. Like all it would
So
take is like
weird.
another drink, and I
Oh,
would just like lose my shit and like go home with you or whatever. And then it's like, so it's so fucked up because he's like saying that, and he's saying, my baby at home has got all my love. It's like, no, this is a very tenuous connection that you have with your baby at home because it would only take like just a little bit more alcohol as an excuse for you to like go home with this other woman and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And so it's just like a fucked up like weird ass song that's like it is catchy in its way, but it's also just like really annoying and kind of gross and stuff like that. And then just like that paired with like that we would hear at the spin class with Shaggy and stuff like that. It was just like too
Yeah.
much to take.
Okay.
So
Oh.
yeah,
Sing-
I hate that song a lot.
sing the
I
hook,
can't
brother.
sing it. I can't
do it.
sing
Sing
it.
the hook.
We got here.
So good.
How it goes.
I hate it
He's
so
like-
much.
Yeah, he's like, oh no, honey, I'm good. I could have another, but I probably should not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
it's so
shit!
bad.
It's that song. Oh my god! I didn't even
Yeah,
know. That's
That
so
was
weird.
bad. Oh, no,
That's awful.
I'm good.
I hate that
It's
song.
so
Yeah,
bad.
that's such a weird concept too. That it's like one more beer until he's in this like catatonic state of like, oh, I can do it. It's just like it's like that has been this one level of like not quite there, but like, all right, now let's go. It's just like has to reach that. That's so gross. I hate that.
Yeah,
God.
it's
Oh my
bad.
God.
It's a really bad song. One of
Oh,
my
no.
least faves ever.
That's terrible.
But yeah, that's all. That's the last one I wanted to cover, for sure. So, but I think I need to drop off, for now. But this was fun doing this.
Yeah.
Brother.
Thanks,
Yeah.
brother.
We'll talk later.
Bye, guys.
Hey,
Thanks,
brother.
see ya.
Bye.
Yeah. So, actually, speaking of that, we'll get back to the list and we'll finish out that. But I think one that theme of that, like, I'm trying to find a girl, I'm trying to like fuck, but I don't know what the fuck.
Yeah.
But Pina Colada song's pretty bad. Like,
Yeah, it
it's
was
got
an
like,
infidelity.
Oh, that was
nostalgia
awful. Yeah.
because, like, you know, Guardians of the Galaxy, and like I think they put it in the Shrek movie, but like that's not bad. It's just a bad song all around.
That's so. I think. Oh, I forgot. In Shrek, it's such a weird like. Yeah, it is. It's like I can't remember.
Which song?
The,
The Pina Colada song, it's like what the fuck has the song?
if
go?
you like pina coladas
Does?
and
Oh,
getting
that one.
caught
Jesus,
in
yeah,
the
that
rain.
one's awful.
Yeah, it's like people like it now because it's like 80s and nostalgia and shit, but like it's just a bad song all from
It's
day
really
one.
it's
Oh yeah,
it's
that's an
gross
awful song.
because it's all about how like this guy is like, yeah, I'm not really feeling out my marriage with my wife, so I'm like I'm gonna go cheat on her. So he takes out a personal ad in the newspaper, and that's where the chorus comes from. It's like if you like pina coladas getting lost in the rain, and it's like making love at midnight in the dunes, and it's like, that's where it kind of loses me. It's like, wait, what are you saying here, man? Like, it's like having sex in like at midnight in like this like in like a desert or something like that. It's like it's getting really bizarre. It's getting to this like weird like art house territory, and then like so then like he goes out, he gets a message from somebody that's like, yeah, it's like, hey dog, I like that too. I'm like, let's meet up for this shit, and then, like he meets this like mystery person somewhere, and he's like waiting for them, and he's like, and the person comes in who the message is from is his wife, and it was like, I didn't, and then the chorus comes back in, and it's like, I didn't know you liked pina coladas and getting lost in the, and it's all about how like there's this renewed like love for his wife.
Because they want to cheat on
full circle coming around.
They cheat on
Yeah.
each other with each other.
It's like two awful human beings. Yeah.
It's fucking gross.
Trash begets trash.
Trash.
It's so bad. Yeah, it's like such a weird concept of like oh I didn't say it. Like, yeah, like I could have just said this all to you, and we could have just saved this like in
Right.
like just like
No, honey, I was hoping you would answer my ad. I was hoping you-
It was a test. It was a test. I'm telling you. You passed. Congratulations, you get me.
You're me again. You piece of shit husband.
First one actually was a pretty good segue. So the other one I wanted to talk about is it's not on the list, but it's like this. It's it's by BB Rexa. I think that's how you say it, and
right.
featuring the Florida Georgia line. It's called "Meant to Be." Do you guys know this song? It's,
Sing it, brother.
I can't. I'll
No.
play it because you just gotta. Hopefully this comes through because it is just really bad.
Oh yeah,
It's
Oh yeah, I've heard that. Yeah.
that's a gross one.
really, really nasty. So like this one popped in my head. Like one of the first times I heard it, I remember thinking about how much I just hated this song, and so it's like for me, it's just so empty. Like their whole philosophy towards their like their relationship is just like, who gives a fuck? You know, it's like just let it be. Who cares? And like I get it's supposed to like capture the excitement for like that first time you go on a date with somebody or something like that. But for me, it was just so like so fucking so gross. Like yeah, it's like it's like dripping with auto tune. You know, they just sound like so insincere. Like my favorite part of the whole song is when she comes in, like she's singing the second verse, and he says, like he interjects her and says, "Wait, hold up, girl. Don't know you're beautiful, and it's easy to see." So it's like I love this so much. He's like explaining about her past, and he's just like, "Whoa." He's like, "Whoa, hold up. Wait, shut up, you're beautiful, idiot." Like I'm not fucking listening to anything you're saying. It's just like it's like so insincere. The whole song is like so insincere. It's like obviously a Beatles ripoff too, and like it just sucks because it's like yeah, it's so repetitive. That same kind of thing with like the other song I mentioned, where it's just like you listen to it once and you pretty much memorized most of it.
That's so bad.
I like to think, he's like mansplaining how beautiful she is to her. Like...
Right?
Listen here, honey.
It's so good. The whole thing, yeah, it's so gross. It's just like nasty ass, like bland fucking love song, and then like it just reminds. It's like the song equivalent of like a really hot Bud Light or something like that. You know, sitting out in the sun for a long time. It's like stale and fucking disgusting. Just let it be.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
gross.
I really like that way of like her explain her starting to explain, and he's like, "I'm not finished. Just hold
up, you beautiful dumbass. Just shut up. Just shut up.
You don't know your words. Yeah, I can. I'll explain it to you.
You don't know what you're saying.
Listen, Dollface. I got this covered.
Let me tell you. I'll speak from now on.
So next up on the list, so Kevin took Honey I'm Good, and then there is, after the Avalanches, there is Helena Beat by...
Oh yeah, Helena Beat, yeah.
If anyone
Foster the People.
That one's just like super...
Wait, what is...
I don't know. It's like so electronic and just like put together and like, I don't know. It
that
didn't
one's
feel
fine.
Like,
it's just
I've just heard it so many times that it's like
I
don't know.
It's okay. It's like my most tolerable on the list, I think.
Yeah.
There's a few that are like fine, but just overplayed on the radio. I'd say.
I can't
come up. I think after this.
I remember like being okay with the band overall, and then there was like I don't know if I was there for their performance or if it was at like a festival. Or if I just saw a clip of them playing, and I really don't like how the main guy plays, because it's a lot of like weird like head dancing. It's just all like it's all like him kind of like going up to the mic. It's like weird like a snake like kind of a. It's really gross. It's a really awful like kind of like like dancing in place and singing and stuff, and it's like the goofiest shit possible. It's like a stand-up keyboard, but he's also like he's like really into it. So I really hate that. Like I don't know, there's something about it that
I love and hate when people do that. Yeah, it's like it's so entertaining to watch for some reason.
That's so good. Next up, we have after Helena Beat is Riptide by
Riptide.
Oh yeah,
Joy.
That sounds okay.
I don't mind it. It's fine.
I don't hate it as much.
I don't hate it either.
That's another one where they were playing that I think every 30 minutes.
Yeah, they were playing the shit out of it. Yeah, for sure.
That was rough. Like it sucks because like I don't think he's like a terrible artist or anything. Like I think it's okay, and it's just like it just got overplayed and like it just shoved down everybody's throats.
Turn it down to the rip.
I want covers of all these songs, but Ryan's is singing them like
singing a song wrong. And it's he doesn't have a country tang. I'm just getting a country tang.
It's like I think if I ever hear it again, I'm just gonna hear your voice singing it. That's like on hearing.
Well,
Yeah.
We can actually, and then that'll be a good segue because so us, I think
Okay.
us, like there's songs that are tolerable, but then we make them annoying. So
Yeah.
it might go. It's further down the list, but the Bastille, fucking what's it called? Vesuvius.
Pompeii.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Pompeii.
Pompeii, yeah.
Vesuvius, yeah.
Again, at first I didn't hate that song, but then Kev was in the car one day doing like, doo doo doo.
I was like, I thought it was fine until he started doing that, and I was like, oh wait, never mind. It was activated in my brain.
Close your eyes. Doo 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 doo.
Damn.
I don't know. I don't know if
Damn.
any other
Yeah.
song that's been overplayed like this one
Yeah.
has. Like this one kind of surpasses a lot of the ones that hang on for like
Yeah,
a
it's
solid
crazy.
few months.
That's
Like I
true.
think this one was played straight for like 2 years on radio
Yeah.
stations,
Yeah,
and like it's
yeah.
still played a lot.
Yeah, this was the one that like
It's crazy how much it's played.
I feel like this was on movie trailers for at least
Yeah.
like years.
Mhm.
It was like at least every other like family friendly like cartoon movie was like it would just be like so it'd be like set up for some adventure and be like let's go and then be like damn,
When you close your eyes.
Yeah, it's awful.
Ew, ew,
It's
ew,
sort of like
ew.
remember
Yeah,
the
it's like
cartoon
so.
movie,
damn.
it was the dog and the time
Yeah.
traveling boy. What was it?
That was the exact one I was thinking of.
Or you gonna say
Sure.
something?
Yeah, where they're going through time and it was like
Yeah,
that one,
Mr.
yeah,
Peabody or whatever the fuck. I don't know.
Peabody and
Mr.
yeah.
Herman?
I can't remember. Yeah, it's
Whatever. Anyway.
but that
I
one.
was gonna say, I know this one. Where have all the cowboys gone? That's been one
Yeah.
that we've all like hated for a long time.
Yeah.
My number one most hated song of all time.
That's the one I
My
really
heart.
hate because
That's since like 1996 or something like that.
During our formative ages.
it was like so. I think the first encounter I had with it. And this sounds like I'm in like an alien like documentary. Is like the first time I encountered where which I was like backlit for this. It'd be like I first heard it when I was at Wawa working on Hyde.
They come to me at night.
It was like, yeah, I remember this being like a staple of the first year I had at Wawa, where I was still really nervous. It was like my first job, so I was like really nervous about a lot of things, and it was just like I was worried I was gonna do something wrong, and then it was like on top of that, I'll hear the song occasionally, and it felt like that was the one that I felt like. I don't think it came on at like the exact time. It wasn't like every day at 6:56 it came on. But it was just like it felt like every time I would like look at the clock. Then I would hear that song. I look at the clock and it felt like it should be later than it was. But it was always like it was always like it's like 5 instead of like I thought it was like it has to be like close to 9 at least, and it would be like 5:30 instead.
Like. That's what, yeah. This song always, like you're right, Big. It always gave me like a general sense of anxiety whenever I heard it. And it would always be like, it's for me because like certain songs will give you like it sets up or creates this like atmosphere, and like when you hear it, it's kind of like when you you have that smell committed to memory, like you hear it and it kind of takes you back to like a weird time.
Just
So,
makes
like,
you queasy.
Yeah, and like every time I heard this is like it would always send me back to when I felt like gross or just felt disgusting about something, like either the song or like just feeling or like at work forever. And that like there's that line, like obviously the chorus is like where have all the cowboys gone, and then right after that she does that like high note right afterwards, and it like holds it out, and that for me was like just the equivalent of like being nauseous all the time. It's like I heard that part, I was like, fuck, I heard the song again. And this one holds a special place in my heart for how much I just like
that's
it.
That's like I think there was a weapon that the military was trying to develop that would like it would at a certain frequency that would send it out, and it would like give the other army like diarrhea or whatever. It's kind of like that.
It's exactly what that is.
That song was like a byproduct of
was the brown
We
note.
didn't have to make money on it.
The brown note.
Yeah.
The huge hit.
It's like, oh, it feels so good. Yeah.
They're
It's,
hitting
it's like this,
ground note.
yeah. Like a certain frequency that activates your brain. Just like it's like it's like when sleeper agents like hear like a certain phrase. Wait a minute. Yeah, I feel like that happens to me with that song is just like it's like I'll be anywhere. I'll just like hear like a specific just combination of that song, and like and just being in like, and I'll just be like, oh man, I'm so tired. I just want to go home. Just like even if I'm like at home or something. I think the one line that was like, I knew it was coming, and I would try. This is gonna sound insane. I would try to like escape it, where I would like, I need to go to the freezer. I would like try to like go away for the song for this line not to hit, where it was just like, I don't remember the lead up, but she's like, it's like something something something, and it's like, you go have a beer.
Oh yeah.
It, like
Yeah.
she's so hard on that note, and I remember being like, I don't want to
That
hear.
part
I don't
is
want to
really
hear
gross.
parts.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, I need to go to the cold box. So I just like find some excuse to like, not be there, and it would be like, it would always be like I'd be coming out of the freezer, and then I would hear. It was like I could never time it right, where I was just like, I need to not be here when I hear this note. It's like, because it's gonna like it's gonna like this one part is gonna like just kill my brain. It's
That's
I don't
how
know. Yeah. Sorry,
that's
guys.
how I imagine, like sometimes thinking about like some of those jobs we had to do at Wawa that were like really boring. And like whenever we'd get like thinking about that, some of the songs that played in Wawa that you would always hear like over and over again and be doing these things is like what I think about when I think about Purgatory sometimes is like doing like the same like really boring jobs and then listening to the same soundtrack, and like that song would definitely be involved because it's not the worst, but it's definitely like pretty fucking bad. Yeah.
It's like I can see myself making Italians as that song is playing. Just kind of like, hearing the wet slap into me like onto the parchment paper, yeah, or like the roast beef. Yeah.
So I think we're gonna start to wrap it up. But does anyone have any final thoughts? I'm sure we have enough material for part 2, but we'll try to get together again. But
I
any
think so.
final
Yeah.
thoughts before we sign off?
I would say I don't like listening to these songs, and I want to listen to good music instead. And I'm glad I have that choice on like a daily basis where I don't have to hear like the radio too often. So it's just something I'm really grateful for, and something I really appreciate is that like I don't have to like experience these songs without like involuntarily. So I think that's just something I want to.
Nice.
Something to be
the freedom
thankful
to not
for.
listen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Just be happy.
I know it's been great talking about them. It's gonna suck having some of these stuck in our head for a few days.
Yeah.
That's true. We're gonna remember. Like, oh man, I forgot about this for a while. I have to think about it.
I'm like, there's gonna be some I'm about to like seek out because like I need to know them. It was like I need to learn them again to like remember why I hate them so much. It's like wait, no, I have to like observe them.
Put yourself through the pain to get the entertainment.
It's like Taxi Driver when he's doing the like the training, he's doing like the against the heat. It's like I need to do that with like terrible songs, just like put them on to like to know like happiness and yeah, just like all right, I can do this.
Right. So yeah, it was awesome talking, and we'll definitely get together again soon and record another either of shit songs or another topic, and we'll try to get together again soon. So this is Ryan signing off, and anyone else and everyone else.
This is Brandon.
This is Sean.
Hey, and this is Steve. See you guys.
See you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Later, Rose.
Bye, brother.